Hey Janice, it's Taylor from Peak Marketing. I got a little folder that I'm gonna get you that has some data and a strategy for you that we would like to implement. But I wanted to make a video and walk you through it because it can be a little confusing if you're not super familiar with all the different metrics and things that we're talking about. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to share my screen and walk through this document with you real quick. So let me get this shared so you can see that. All right, so when you first open up, and you can follow along as we do this, but when you first open up this little folder that I got for you, there's the first section that we call your data. So in that particular section, we're just talking about your links, your content, and then some technical SEO. So when we look at that first screenshot, you'll see this RD number where it has 402. That signifies the number of backlinks you have to your site currently with 402 backlinks. We'll come back to that because the quantity isn't the only thing that matters. But for now, just understand that number right there, 402 backlinks that you have on your site. The next screenshot is the amount of content that Google sees on your site, which is 71 results or 71 pages. The third item here is the performance score that Google has given you for your technical SEO. So there's this Google Page Speed Insights tool that they've created. So it's straight from Google's mouth. They give you a score 0 to 100. Right now we're failing this particular score. We're in the red where we have a score of 41. So we really need to improve that to be able to start to rank better. Last thing that I wanted to mention with your backlinks here, so let me zoom in on this just a little bit. The quality of the backlinks that you have absolutely matters. It's not all about quantity, although it does matter. We want to make sure we're also looking at the quality of these links. So when we go through and look at these, we look at a metric called domain rating or DR. Generally speaking, anything that's less than a 20 on this DR rating scale is what we would consider spam. So when we went through all the 402 links on your particular site that have been built to your site from other individual sites, we're looking at 376 spammy links. So this is a huge problem because the majority of the links you currently have on your website are spam. So it almost doesn't matter that you have 402 links. You can almost look at that as just a fraction of the links that you actually have built to the website. So this is something that we're absolutely going to want to address to be able to help the site to rank a little bit better. Okay, on the next page here, we're going to start looking at some of your competitors. I look specifically at Manhattan divorce attorneys. We can look at several different markets. I think this is going to be the best one for you to start in since we're located in Manhattan there. But we can always discuss if you would like to try to target something else. But for example's sake, you can do this analysis in any market for any practice area. So let's just try this out here in Manhattan. So here's three different competitors that we're looking at. You can see their links here. So they've got 377, 454, and 106. So you, again, quality is going to come into play here. So if you look off here to the side, you can see this DR number again for these different particular competitors. And you can see how it's far better than what your current DR is for your website there. So again, this is one of the things that we're going to want to focus on. Improve the links that are on the site and get more of them built out. Next, looking at the amount of content that your competitors have, this is a huge gap that needs to be addressed. So if you look at here, 249, 472, 641, you can see that most of these competitors have far more pages on their websites than you do, and we'll want to get more of these built out to be able to help the site start to rank better. Last metric we're going to look at here is the technical SEO. Thankfully, excuse me, in most cases, competitors aren't doing well with this either. So this isn't necessarily a major problem for us in your particular market. However, it just can give us a competitive edge if we do address this and make it a little bit better than what your competitors are seeing. So this competitor has a score of 42. This one has a score of 41. This particular competitor is crushing it, and they've got a score of 98. So again, improving that is just going to help us rank a little bit better. So this is just a short summary I tried to put together here for you based on that audit that we did. Long story short, we got to clean up the links. We need to clean up the technical SEO so we got a better score. We need to generate more content. We need to get better links and more of them on the site. And this total work number here helps me come up with the budget that I'm about to show you. So we essentially say, okay, how many hours are we going to need to be able to complete all of this work? And then you can see the different hour totals here. And then this rundown gives you an idea of when this work is going to be completed. So for the first month and a half, since it's about 30 hours that we need, we'll be working on that technical SEO. The next at 2.5 months up to 12 months, we'll be working on all these different items here. So 38 pieces of content, 20 local directories, 8 Google posts, and then 23 guest blog mentions, which are a higher quality form of link that we're able to get for our clients. We do not ignore the website. So getting the website optimized for conversions and things of that nature is all included inside of our SEO work. So that is something that we are also working on, just so you are aware. So to be able to do all of that work, what we did is we took the total number of hours, we bill at $100 an hour, and it came out to about $28,000 to be able to do that. We split that up over a 12-month period, comes out to 24 hours or $2,400 a month for us to be able to get the site to be able to rank better and show up for more searches, more keywords, and get more leads to the site. So what this looks like for one of the clients that we've already worked with, and I know at the conference I was briefly showing you some of this information, but step one is to rank for more keywords. So this is an example of a client where we started tracking this back in July, and then over the course of about 6 months, they started to rank for well over 150 keywords. So that's the first step. We've got to start ranking for more of these keywords. Next step is we want to make sure that those keywords that we're ranking for is translating into traffic to the website. So as you can see here, it usually takes about 4 to 6 months before you start to fill and increase. And then after 9 months for this particular client, traffic just started to take off. That's usually what we see for our clients is about 6 to 9 months before you really see the results that you would like. And then obviously once that traffic's coming into the site, we want to make sure that's actually translating into more phone calls. So for this particular client, we started really tracking phone calls at the end of July. So that number is a little deceiving where it says 3 calls. In August, you can see that they had a total of 52 calls. And then after about 4 or 5 months, at the end of December, which is usually actually a slow month for these guys, they're employment attorneys, it was 75 calls. So even in a slow month, they were able to see a pretty substantial increase in the number of calls that they were getting into the firm. Okay, so that's just kind of a quick rundown of that document and what the goal is of the campaign to be able to get more traffic, more leads into the law firm. I'll drop off this binder so that you can have that, look through it, and then I know we're chatting in about a week. So please, if you have any questions, I'll make sure you have my email as well and my phone number so that you can reach out. But other than that, I look forward to chatting with you in about a week. Thanks, Janice.